What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the $10,000 EIDL grant executive order, President Trump. It is Tuesday, August the 11th, 2020. Please do me a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below, copy and paste the exact title of this video and share it all over Facebook and Twitter. And if you're new to this channel, I'm thinking you're going to want to subscribe and hit that bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we once again address the 45th President of the United States, I'd like to remind everybody how we got here. I, along with over 37,000 small business owners, sole proprietors, and independent contractors with a legitimate side hustle that I represent on something we call YouTube, were forced into lockdown in late March, early April. I applied for the grant as well as the loan on April 1st. On the 22nd of April, they pulled my credit at Experian and funded me the grant $1,000 per employee. And despite over 30 phone calls and emails over the course of the next month, I didn't get my EIDL loan until May the 26th. And I decided to stick around because on June 10th, when I saw the Senate hearing and Ms. Javida Carranza, head of the SBA, who was appointed by President Trump in January of this year, sidestep, mislead, or dare I say lie to the American public, well, it pissed me off. So I developed something called the 1,000 Points of Light, where I email this channel and every video that we've created since to every senator, every congressman and woman, every governor, every radio and TV station that I can find in this country, over 1,100 strong. And since then, I, along with many other channels who are fighting the good fight, have exploded. Some of our videos have been seen more than 100,000 times. Recently, we crashed over half of the U.S. Senator phone lines and jammed up their email boxes because thousands of small business owners who are desperately crying out for help have been sharing our stuff on Facebook and Twitter like there's no tomorrow. However, here we are, approaching the middle of August. The stock market, as the president pointed out today, is rocking and rolling. So let me address the president, and may I also include Secretary Mnuchin, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Marco Rubio, and Ben Cardin. All 7 or 8 of which are going to be vastly responsible for getting you $10,000 of cash advance and a loan up to $2 million, not the self-imposed $150,000 by Ms. Carranza and the SBA. President Trump, it's an honor once again to address you. I saw your tweet this morning. Great stock market numbers. Sir, let me remind you of something. I spent 14 years on Wall Street, and a little known secret, half of all Americans, notice I'm wearing the red, white, and blue today, don't even have a 401k, let alone a mutual fund in their account. And the other half who do, while some have seen their 401ks restored to near whole, most of the people that I represent have drawn down their 401ks, cashed out their IRAs, maxed out their credit cards, and have little to no savings left, sir. So I'm not sure who's giving you the information that you're currently receiving. I'll give you one example in particular, the restaurant business. Ms. Carranza, who again was appointed by you, is still to this day, after 5 months of forced lockdown, limiting the EIDL loan to $150,000 instead of the $2 million where it belongs. Well, to a typical restaurant, $150,000 is not going to last 5 months. It barely lasts a month. So, sir, you need to realize what the Food Network pointed out just the other day. There are 50 million Americans that supply into the restaurateurs, the folks that make the napkins, the folks that sell the dishes and the silverware, the farmers that you support, rightly so, and thank you very much, in reference to the Chinese tariffs that supply the food and the meats and the proteins. 50 million strong, sir. Many of them who don't even have unemployment benefits until you wrote an executive order the other day, because we have a Congress, a House, and a Senate who can't get their act together to save their own life. What's going to happen, I ask of you and everybody else I'm addressing here today, if we lose a huge chunk of 50 million people, as one example, that sell into the restaurant business. I got an answer for you. There's going to be millions of people filing Chapter 11 in October all the way up to November the 3rd. Sir, if I may once again remind you, you're losing in the polls. You can call it fake news. You can call it oversampling the Democrats all you want. I'll grant you some of that. But in my opinion, instead of the 9 to 10 points in the Real Clear averages, you're actually down 3 or 4. And as I said the last time I had the honor of speaking to you, sir, not to tell you what you want to hear, but what you have to hear, you've turned your back on the forgotten men and women, the folks that supply the restaurants, the stay-at-home moms, of which I represent hundreds, that babysit kids, the retired or disabled veterans, thank you very much, who have served this country. They have no more money. They were counting on $10,000 of cash advance months ago. And then I had to watch Ted Cruz of Texas, not like John Cornyn, a hero who's a sponsor of S.4227. But I had to watch Ted Cruz last night make fun of one of his fellow Democrat senators who had the gall to suggest that every American affected by this COVID lockdown get a couple of $1,000s a month through the pandemic and maybe 2 or 3 months further. And then I started to do my 3rd grade math, Mr. President, and I said, gee, if it goes on for another 5 months or so, times $2,000, that's $10,000. So is that why we're sitting here on August the 11th with millions of voters who are about ready to abandon the Red Party ship? Because you and Ted Cruz, along with most of the rest of the folks in the Senate and the House, think that $10,000 is just way too much money. What did Ted say? Why don't we just give everybody $1 million and then another $1 million and then another $1 million? Mr. President, this $10,000 goes up against a small business that may have been making $20,000 a month. Over the last five months, that's a $100,000 economic loss. And all they've gotten during that time frame is what Ms. Carranza rations out at $1,000 per employee. Maybe I got PUA, maybe I didn't. States are going to have to catch up to the executive order. I didn't qualify, I myself included, for PPP. We didn't get our taxes done. We didn't have the right information in place. Sorry, Charlie. So many of the voters that are watching me right now, many of the voters, in fact, that voted for you in 2016, all they've had to survive on is $1,000. Maybe $2,000 if they're a 2-person shop. Maybe some unemployment, but that was backdated. By then, they've already drowned down their savings. They've cashed out their 401k, their IRA. So, sir, while you like to champion the stock market, I got news for you. Half of the fellow Americans that are going to be pulling the lever on November the 3rd don't even have a stock portfolio, and the others that do, it's been decimated. They've gotten no help with respect to the EIDL program, and to this day, your appointee, Ms. Javita Carranza, head of the SBA, is still, as per the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, violating the law. Why is she still rationing the loan at $150,000 when, as of yesterday, there's $195 billion of unspent EIDL loan money? Mr. President, our government is extremely dysfunctional. You're behind in the polls. You want to be a national hero? You want to win, arguably, in a landslide? Then I'm asking you right here, right now, issue an executive order. There is $195 billion of already appropriated EIDL loan money that's not been spent. It's taken them 5 months to spend a little over $150 billion. At the rate they're going with these $150,000 loan caps, they're never going to get through all that money. Most people, I would estimate about 70%, have already gotten a loan or been declined because they've got poor credit. So I'm asking you, sir, move over the $80 billion that S.4227 is calling for in terms of the advance and put it in the advance pile. They'll still have $110 billion or thereabouts to loan out while we wait for Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi, along with Secretary Mnuchin, to get their act together. Sir, you have a chance right here, right now, to become a national hero. You could be solely responsible for saving the black, brown, and white small business owners, sole proprietors, and independent contractors in this country. But if you do nothing, sir, and we continue to see week after week, month after month go by, and millions of people, up to 50 million in the restaurant business, are forced to file bankruptcy or hobble into the ballot box come November 3rd, I can almost guarantee when they know that it was your administration and Miss Javita Carranza, who was again your appointee, they're not going to be inclined to vote for you. They're going to vote for Joe. Text support to 30330. May God bless you, Mr. President, and the United States of America.